3 months later, the Hegemony Council chamber on the capital world of Nexus Prime had never seen such chaos. Representatives from 47 star systems argued in dozens of languages while holographic displays showed the impossible. Earth's quantum signature had increased by 400,000% since the incident in Afghanistan, Supreme. Chancellor Kethmore called for order, but the debate continued. The human situation had become the most pressing crisis in hegemony history. Order! Kethmore's voice echoed through the chamber. We will hear the field report from combat leader Zethkar. Zethkar stood at the center of the massive chamber, looking smaller than usual despite his 8-foot frame. Honorable Chancellors, the situation on Earth has escalated beyond all projections. He activated a holographic display showing Earth surrounded by swirling energy patterns. The quantum consciousness field surrounding the human planet now exceeds anything in our databases. What began with one human sniper's impossible shot has become a species-wide awakening. Chancellor Vathak of the Rigel sector leaned forward. Explain this awakening, combat leader. 3 months ago, Staff Sergeant Marcus Chun killed one of our warriors using only determination and a primitive kinetic weapon. Since that event, humans worldwide have been experimenting. The hologram shifted to show news footage from Earth, a construction worker in Tokyo lifting a steel beam with his bare hands while thinking about protecting his family. A mother in Detroit stopping a speeding car by simply refusing to let it hit her child. A farmer in Kenya making rain fall on his drought-stricken crops through sheer will. These are not isolated incidents, Zethkar continued. Our monitoring stations have recorded over 50,000 confirmed cases of humans affecting reality through focused intent. The effect is spreading exponentially. Chancellor Dexter of the Andorian Collective stood up. You're telling us that humans are developing psychic abilities? No, Honorable Chancellor. What they're developing is something far more dangerous. They're learning to impose their will on the fundamental laws of physics through the power of belief and determination. The chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. Science Chancellor Phaeton activated his own display. Our analysis suggests this ability stems from what humans call fighting spirit, their capacity for determination in the face of impossible odds. Unlike other species, humans seem to gain power from adversity rather than being weakened by it. Chancellor Kethmore studied the data. What are their limitations? We have found none, Zethkar admitted. Every time we think we understand the boundaries of human will-based reality manipulation, they exceed them. Last week, a human soldier in Syria wished for his wounded comrade to survive, and the man regenerated from injuries that should have been fatal. Impossible. 3 days ago, a group of human scientists in Antarctica collectively decided their research station should be warmer. They raised the local temperature by 40 degrees without any technological assistance. The chamber fell silent. Finally, War Chancellor Grixter spoke. What does this mean for hegemony security? Zethkar's response sent a chill through every representative present. Honorable Chancellors, if humanity learns to coordinate their abilities on a global scale, they could potentially rewrite the laws of physics for entire star systems. Chancellor Kethmore leaned back in his throne. Recommendations? Sir, we have 3 options. First, immediate planetary sterilization before their abilities develop further. Several chancellors nodded, but Zethkar continued. However, our tactical analysis suggests this may no longer be possible. Human consciousness is now so collectively powerful that they might simply will our weapons to malfunction. Second option? Complete withdrawal from this galaxy sector and hope they never develop interstellar capabilities. And the third? Zethkar hesitated. Negotiation, but not from a position of strength. From a position of respect. The chamber exploded in outrage. For 3,000 years, the hegemony had never negotiated as equals with any species. They conquered, they integrated, or they eliminated. They did not negotiate. War Chancellor Grixter stood, his massive frame intimidating even in the vast chamber. Combat leader, are you suggesting the mighty hegemony should bow to these primitive humans? Honorable Chancellor, permit me to show you something our deep space monitors recorded yesterday. The hologram shifted to show a view of Earth from space. The planet looked normal at first, but then energy readings appeared as overlays. Earth was surrounded by a field of quantum energy so intense it made nearby stars look dim by comparison. This is what happens when 8 billion humans simultaneously believe they can protect their world. The energy field extends approximately 100,000 kilometers from their planet's surface. Any hegemony vessel entering that field would be subject to reality-altering effects determined by collective human will. Science Chancellor Phaeton ran calculations on his personal device. Combat Leader, are you saying they've weaponized their entire planet through collective consciousness? Worse, Honorable Chancellor. They've done it unconsciously. Most humans are still unaware of their true capabilities. They simply know that impossible things have been happening since the Afghanistan incident went viral on their communication networks. Chancellor Kethmore studied the energy readings. What happens when they become fully aware? Unknown, sir. But our projections suggest that a fully awakened human consciousness could potentially affect reality on a galactic scale. The chamber fell into stunned silence. Finally, Chancellor Vothak spoke quietly. You're telling us that, in 3 months, this primitive species has gone from being harmless to being potentially unstoppable? That is correct, Honorable Chancellor. War Chancellor Grixter activated his own display, showing the hegemony's military might. We command 14 billion soldiers across 47 worlds. Our technology can destroy stars. Our ships can travel faster than light. Surely we can handle one primitive planet. Zethkar's response was grim. Honorable Chancellor, technology means nothing against opponents who can change the laws of physics through willpower alone. Our weapons work because the universe follows predictable rules. Human determination appears capable of rewriting those rules. Show them, Science Chancellor Phaeton said quietly. Sir? Show them what happened to Battlefleet Nexus 7 when they tried to approach Earth last week. Zethkar reluctantly activated another hologram. It showed a massive hegemony battle fleet to 200 of their most advanced warships approaching Earth's energy field. The moment the first ship crossed the boundary, something impossible happened. The warships began to transform. Their hull metals became flower petals. Their weapon systems turned into musical instruments. Their faster-than-light drives became butterfly wings. The humans didn't attack our fleet, Zethkar explained. They simply decided that instruments of war shouldn't exist in their space. Their collective unconscious will transform our battle fleet into harmless objects of beauty. War Chancellor Grixter sat down heavily. The crews? Unharmed but ... changed, they all reported feeling an overwhelming sense of peace and a complete inability to think violent thoughts while within the field. The effect wore off when they retreated beyond the boundary, but the ships remained transformed. Chancellor Kethmore processed this information. So military force is useless. Against humans operating at full potential? Yes, sir. Then what do they want from us? Zethkar activated a final hologram showing a message received just hours earlier. The image of Staff Sergeant Marcus Chun appeared in the chamber, wearing his U.S. Army uniform and looking directly at the camera. This message was broadcast on all known hegemony frequencies simultaneously, Zethkar explained. We have no idea how they accessed our communication networks. Marcus Chen's voice filled the chamber. To whoever is in charge of the blue guys who visited Afghanistan, this is Staff Sergeant Marcus Chun. I figured you might be discussing what to do about Earth, so I wanted to make our position clear. The human paused, and even through the hologram, his determination was palpable. We don't want to fight you. We never wanted to fight you. You showed up on our planet, called us vermin, laughed at our weapons, and insulted our soldiers. That's when things went wrong for you. Another pause. But here's the thing. Humans don't hold grudges against people who learn from their mistakes. You've realized that you underestimated us. Good. Now you need to decide whether you want to be neighbors or enemies. Marcus looked directly into the camera with the steady gaze of a trained sniper. If you choose neighbors, we're willing to share knowledge, trade technology, and work together to make the galaxy a better place for everyone. If you choose enemies, well, you've seen what one determined human with a rifle can do. Do you really want to find out what 8 billion determined humans can accomplish when we put our minds to it? The message paused again, and Marcus's expression softened slightly. For what it's worth, I don't think you're bad people. You're just used to being the strongest kids on the playground. But the playground just got a new kid, and that kid grew up in a rough neighborhood. We know how to fight, but we prefer to build. Your choice which one you get? The hologram ended, leaving the chamber in absolute silence. Finally, Chancellor Kethmer spoke. Opinions? War Chancellor Grixter was the first to respond. Honorable Shah. The .308 Winchester round left Marcus's rifle at 2,800 feet per second. In the 0.73 seconds it took to travel 150 yards, several impossible things happened. Simultaneously, the alien leader's 4 eyes widened in what could only be described as complete shock. Not fear, shock. As if the concept that a primitive vermin might actually fight back had never occurred to it. The bullet struck the creature's primary eye dead center. What Marcus expected was blood. What he got was something that would be studied by xenobiologists for decades to come. The alien didn't just die. It exploded into particles of blue light that scattered like sparks from a campfire. For exactly 3 seconds, those sparks hung in the air, and then they vanished completely. Where a living creature had stood moments before, there was now empty air and a set of armor crashing to the ground. The silence that followed was deafening. The remaining 5 aliens stood frozen, staring at the empty space where their leader had been. Through Rodriguez's tablet came sounds that the translation app couldn't parse, alien words spoken too fast and with too much emotion for the software to handle. Holy shit, Sarge, Rodriguez whispered. What did you just do? Marcus was asking himself the same question. He'd killed before, but he'd never seen anything like this. The alien had disintegrated as if it were made of light instead of flesh and blood. One of the remaining aliens finally spoke, and the translation app caught it. Impossible. The weapon was primitive. It cannot. This cannot. Another alien responded. The energy pattern suggests complete molecular breakdown. But that's impossible with kinetic weapons. Sarge, Rodriguez said urgently, they're freaking out down there. Look at them. Marcus looked through his scope. The aliens were no longer moving with casual arrogance. They were backing away from each other, scanning the hills frantically, and their body language screamed panic. Whatever had just happened, it had shattered their confidence completely. The largest of the remaining aliens, apparently the new leader, made a series of rapid gestures. And suddenly Marcus heard its voice broadcast on multiple radio frequencies simultaneously. Human sniper, respond. We must speak with you immediately. Marcus keyed his radio. I'm listening. What you have done? It should not be possible with your technology. Our species has encountered hundreds of civilizations across the galaxy. None have ever... The alien's voice trailed off, and Marcus could hear rapid conversation in the background. The translation app was catching fragments. ... Energy signature is off the charts. ... Molecular dissolution without energy weapons. ... How is this possible? ... The new leader's voice returned. Human sniper, what is your name? Staff Sergeant Marcus Chun, United States Army. Marcus Chun. I am combat leader, Zethkar of the Hegemony Science Fleet. In 300 years of military service across 47 star systems, I have never witnessed what just occurred. Your primitive kinetic weapon just accomplished something that should require quantum-level energy manipulation. Marcus looked at Rodriguez, who shrugged. Sarge, I think you broke their understanding of physics. Through his scope, Marcus watched the aliens examining their leader's empty armor with what looked like scientific instruments. They were clearly trying to figure out what had happened. Chun, the alien leader continued, we need to understand this phenomenon. Will you allow us to approach without further violence? Marcus thought about it for exactly 2 seconds. Negative. Your people called human soldiers pathetic. You laughed at our weapons. You called us vermin. You want to talk? You stay right where you are and explain why I shouldn't kill the rest of you. The silence stretched for nearly a minute. Finally, Zethkar responded, You are correct. We misjudged your species. The weapon you just used should not have been capable of destroying one of our kind. Our biology is different from yours. We exist partially in what you would call normal space and partially in quantum dimensions. Physical projectiles pass through us harmlessly. Energy weapons require massive power to affect us. Yet your single bullet just completely dissolved my commander into base energy. Rodriguez was furiously taking notes on his tablet. Sarge, this is huge. They're saying human bullets shouldn't work on them at all. Marcus keyed his radio again. Then how did it work? We do not know. Our scientists are analyzing the energy readings now. The initial data suggests that your projectile carried an energy signature we have never encountered. It appears to be connected to intent, purpose, what humans might call determination or will. You're saying the bullet worked because I wanted it to work? That is a crude but potentially accurate assessment. Our kind exists across multiple dimensional planes simultaneously. Physical weapons cannot touch us because they lack the energy frequency to reach our quantum aspects. But your projectile carried something beyond kinetic force. It carried what our scientists are calling directed consciousness, a focused intent so powerful it bridged dimensional barriers. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. You're telling me that human determination is a weapon? Not just a weapon. According to our readings, it may be the most powerful force we have ever encountered. Down in the valley, more aliens were descending from the ship. These ones looked different, less armor, more instruments. Scientists, Marcus realized. Chun, Zethkar continued, in the past 3,000 years, the hegemony has encountered 637 sentient species. Of those, 512 submitted immediately upon seeing our technology. 123 fought briefly before surrendering. 2 species chose extinction rather than submission. What about humans? Humans are unprecedented. You are the first species that has ever harmed one of our kind with primitive technology. The first species where individual will appears to be capable of altering physical laws. Rodriguez grabbed Marcus's arm. Sarge, look at the ship. Through his scope, Marcus could see activity around the massive vessel. Smaller ships were emerging from its hull, dozens of them. Chun, please understand, what just occurred has changed everything. The Hegemony Council must be informed immediately. Your species represents either the greatest threat or the greatest opportunity in our recorded history. Is that supposed to be a compliment or a threat? Neither. It is simply fact. We came here expecting to catalog another primitive civilization for eventual integration into the hegemony. Instead, we have discovered a species that may be capable of rewriting the fundamental laws of warfare. Marcus watched more ships appear. How many of you are there? This science fleet consists of 12,000 personnel. However, the hegemony as a whole encompasses 47 star systems with a combined population of approximately 14 billion individuals. Rodriguez did quick math on his tablet and showed Marcus the number. The human was impressed despite himself. 14 billion aliens spread across dozens of worlds, all with technology that made human science look like stone knives. What do you want from Earth? Initially, we intended to establish standard contact protocols, evaluate your technological level, and determine integration feasibility. Integration into what? The hegemony? Your species would be given a planetary designation, assigned technological development guidelines, and incorporated into our economic and social structures. Standard procedure for primitive civilizations. Marcus felt anger building again. Primitive. There's that word again. Chun, you must understand, until 17 minutes ago, that assessment was accurate. Your technology appears crude compared to ours. Your social structures are fragmented. Your military capabilities seem minimal. And now? Now, we are reassessing everything. A weapon that can kill a hegemony warrior using only focused intent changes all parameters. If one human can accomplish this, what might your entire species be capable of? Through his scope, Marcus watched the alien scientists working frantically around their equipment. They appeared to be arguing about something. Chun, Zethkaris' voice returned, but now it carried a note of urgency. Our scientists have completed their preliminary analysis. The energy readings from your weapon strike are troubling. Troubling how? The quantum signature suggests that what you accomplished was not unique to you personally. Every member of your species appears to carry the same potential energy pattern. With proper focus and intent, any human might be capable of similar feats. Rodriguez grabbed the radio. You're saying any human can do what Sergeant Chun just did? Potentially, yes. Your species appears to possess what we can only describe as weaponized consciousness. The ability to impose will upon reality through sheer determination. Marcus thought about every soldier he'd ever served with. He thought about the Marine who'd carried his wounded buddy for 12 miles through enemy territory. The pilot who'd crashed her helicopter rather than abandon a fallen team. The medic who'd refused to leave a hot zone until every wounded soldier was evacuated. If that kind of determination could kill aliens who existed in multiple dimensions. Chun, Zethkar continued, I need you to understand something critical. The hegemony has rules about species that pose existential threats. If your kind can truly weaponize consciousness, if human determination alone can overcome our dimensional defenses, what? You'll wipe us out? The decision will not be mine, but historically, yes, species that represent fundamental threats to hegemony security are eliminated before they can develop interstellar capabilities. Marcus felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. His one shot had just put the entire human race on trial. How long before your leaders decide? Combat leader Zethkar, we have a problem. The voice came through alien communication systems, but the translation app caught it. One of the scientists was running toward the group. Report, Science Leader Vexthi. The quantum resonance from the human weapon strike is expanding. It appears to be spreading through what your people call the Internet. Every time a human learns of this event, the collective consciousness field grows stronger. Marcus felt his blood run cold. Rodriguez, please tell me you haven't been posting about this on social media. Rodriguez looked guilty. Well, I might have sent a quick message to my brother back home. Through the radio came the sound of alien panic. Science leader, what are you saying? Combat leader, the human global communication network is spreading awareness of their capability faster than we can track. The quantum signature is amplifying with each individual who gains knowledge of what occurred here. If this continues, If this continues, what? If enough humans become aware of their potential, their collective consciousness field may become powerful enough to affect reality on a planetary scale. Marcus looked through his scope and saw aliens running in all directions. Equipment was being packed hastily, and the smaller ships were beginning to retreat toward the main vessel. Chun, Zethkaris' voice was tight with what might have been fear. How many people has your companion contacted? Rodriguez checked his phone. Well, my brother posted it on Facebook, and it's got like 300 shares already. And someone put it on Twitter. And there's a live stream that has about 50,000 viewers. The alien response was immediate and terrified. Evacuation protocol. All personnel return to the ship immediately. What's happening down there? Marcus asked. Chun, your species is about to undergo what we can only call consciousness ascension. The more humans who believe in their power to affect reality through will alone, the more powerful that ability becomes. We are detecting quantum fluctuations from your planet that are off any scale we have ever measured. Marcus watched the last aliens scramble toward their ship. Where are you going? To warn the hegemony that they are about to face something unprecedented in galactic history. A species of 8 billion individuals, each potentially capable of imposing their will on reality itself. The massive ship began to rise, its hull shimmering in the afternoon sun. Chun, one final question. When you fired that shot, what were you thinking about? Marcus thought about it for a moment. I was thinking about my friends who died in this valley, about protecting my planet from people who called us vermin. And that thought, how strong was it? Marcus smiled grimly. Strong enough to kill your friend. Then may whatever gods you believe in help us all. Because if 8 billion humans can think that strongly about protecting their world. The ship vanished into the sky, leaving Marcus and Rodriguez alone on the hillside. Rodriguez looked at his phone, where notifications were exploding across every app. Sarge, I think we're about to become very famous. Marcus shouldered his rifle and started walking back toward base. Rodriguez, I think we're about to become very dangerous. Above them, the sky was clear and blue. But somewhere among the stars, an alien fleet was racing to deliver the most important message in galactic history. Humanity was no longer just another primitive species. They were something much, much worse. The morning sun cast long shadows across the rocky hills of Afghanistan as Staff Sergeant Marcus Chun adjusted his rifle scope for the third time. 23 confirmed kills in 8 months of deployment had earned him respect among his unit, but today felt different. The air itself seemed to hum with an energy that made his skin crawl. Contact in the valley below, whispered his spotter, Private Rodriguez, through the comm system. But Sarge, you need to see this. Marcus peered through his scope and froze. In the valley, where Taliban fighters should have been moving supplies, stood creatures that defied everything he knew about reality. They were tall, maybe 8 feet, with pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. Their heads were larger than human heads, with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Most unsettling were their hands, 6 fingers each, moving with impossible grace as they examined human military equipment scattered on the ground. Rodriguez, are you recording this? Already on it, Sarge, but who's gonna believe us? The aliens moved with confidence, like they owned the planet. One of them picked up a destroyed Humvee with one hand, turning it over like a child examining a broken toy. Another was studying a damaged M4 rifle, its 4 eyes focusing on different parts of the weapon simultaneously. Marcus counted 12 of them in total. They wore no visible armor, just form-fitting suits that seemed to be made of the same shimmering material as their skin. No weapons were visible, which somehow made them more terrifying rather than less. Base, this is Overwatch 7, Marcus whispered into his radio. We have unknown contacts in Grid Square Delta 5. Requesting immediate backup and ... Someone who knows about weird stuff? The response crackled back immediately. Overwatch 7, clarify unknown contacts, Taliban fighters. Marcus watched one of the aliens casually bend a steel beam from a destroyed bridge into a pretzel shape. Negative, Base. These aren't Taliban. These are in single quotes to ... human. A long pause. Overwatch 7, maintain observation. Do not engage. Repeat, do not engage until backup arrives. For the next hour, Marcus and Rodriguez watched the creatures conduct what appeared to be an examination of human technology. They moved through the debris field of a recent battle, picking up everything from spent shell casings to pieces of body armor. One alien held up a fragment of a Kevlar vest and seemed to be laughing, a sound like wind chimes in a storm that carried impossibly far. That's when everything changed. Brilliant light erupted from nowhere, and a massive ship materialized above the valley. It was triangular, roughly the size of a football stadium, and it hovered silently 200 feet off the ground. The hull was the same shimmering blue as the alien's skin, but covered in geometric patterns that hurt to look at directly. Jesus Christ, Rodriguez breathed. We're not alone. More aliens descended from the ship on beams of light, dozens of them. They were clearly different from the first group. These newcomers wore elaborate armor and carried weapons that looked like crystalline sculptures. The way the first aliens immediately bowed suggested a clear hierarchy. Marcus adjusted his scope to focus on what appeared to be the leader, an alien significantly taller than the others, with silver patterns traced across its blue skin. It moved to the center of the debris field and began making gestures while producing that wind chime sound. Sarge, my translation app is picking up something, Rodriguez said, checking his tablet. It's trying to parse their language through the audio we're recording. What's it saying? Give me a sec. Okay, it's rough, but I think the big one is saying something about ... primitive weapons? And the unknown. What? It's talking about humans, calling us the local vermin and saying our weapons are toys for children. The others are laughing, Sarge. They're laughing at us. Marcus felt a cold anger building in his chest. 23 confirmed kills. 8 months of watching friends die. Roadside bombs, sniper attacks, mortar fire, all to protect people who would never know their names. And now these things were standing in the middle of a battlefield where good men had died. Treating human weapons like jokes, one of the armored aliens picked up an M240 machine gun, a weapon that could cut down trees, and snapped it in half with its bare hands. The others made their wind chime laughter sound louder. Primitive, the translation app crackled through Rodriguez's tablet. Crude, how do they expect to survive in the galaxy with such ... dies? Another alien lifted a fragmentation grenade, examined it with all 4 eyes, then crushed it like an eggshell. The explosive inside scattered harmlessly to the ground. More laughter. Base, this is Overwatch 7, Marcus said into his radio. How long until backup arrives? Overwatch 7, we're having trouble with communications. Some kind of interference. Backup is delayed indefinitely. Continue observation only. Marcus realized they were on their own. The aliens clearly had technology that could jam human communications when they wanted to. The question was, what did they want? His answer came quickly. The lead alien gestured toward the hills where Marcus and Rodriguez were hidden. It said something that made all the others turn in their direction. Movement, Rodriguez whispered. They're coming this way. 6 of the armored aliens began walking up the hill with lazy confidence. They weren't moving fast, but each step covered an impossible amount of ground. What should have been a 20-minute climb was going to take them maybe 5 minutes. We need to move, Rodriguez said. Negative. We stay and observe? Sarge, they know where we are. They're coming to kill us. Marcus watched the aliens approach through his scope. They were talking among themselves. And the translation app was catching fragments. ... see what the vermin look like up. Close ... double quotes, tab, probably hiding in fear, ... their soldiers are as pathetic as their weapons. That. Last comment hit Marcus like a physical blow. Pathetic. These things thought human soldiers were pathetic. They thought the men and women who died defending freedom, who'd sacrificed everything for people they'd never meet, were pathetic. Marcus had been a sniper for 6 years. Before that, he'd been infantry for 3. He'd seen what courage looked like. He'd seen 19-year-old kids charge machine gun nests to save their buddies. He'd seen medics run into open fire to drag wounded soldiers to safety. He'd seen helicopter pilots land in hot zones without hesitation because someone needed help. Pathetic was the last word anyone should use for human soldiers. The aliens were now 300 yards away and closing. Marcus could see them clearly without his scope, tall, arrogant, moving like they were taking a casual stroll. One was examining what appeared to be a small device, probably the thing that had detected their position. Sarge, we have to go, now. Marcus made a decision that would change everything. Rodriguez, how good is that translation app? Pretty good, why? Because I want them to understand what I'm about to say. Marcus keyed his radio to an open frequency and spoke clearly into the microphone. He knew the aliens could intercept human communications. They'd proven that by jamming the military frequencies. This is Staff Sergeant Marcus Chun, United States Army. I don't know if you can understand me, but I want you to know something. You're standing on a battlefield where better men and women than you have died. They died protecting people they loved from people who wanted to hurt them. You want to call human weapons primitive? You want to call human soldiers pathetic? Come find out. Through Rodriguez's tablet, He heard the wind chime sound of alien laughter. The translation app crackled. The vermin speaks. How amusing. It thinks it can threaten us with its toys. Marcus adjusted his rifle and began calculating distance, wind speed, and elevation. The aliens were now 200 yards away. Easy shot for someone with his training, but would human bullets even affect them? Only one way to find out. Rodriguez, when I shoot, you run? Get back to base and tell them everything. Sarge, don't do this. There's 6 of them and they're bulletproof for all we know. Maybe, but I've been watching them for 2 hours and I noticed something. They're not wearing helmets. It was true. The armored aliens had protection covering their torsos and limbs, but their heads were exposed. Whether this was arrogance or a cultural thing, Marcus didn't care. It was an opening. The aliens were now 150 yards away. The leader was still examining his detection device, probably reading Marcus's exact position. It looked up and appeared to be looking directly at him. Through the translation app came words that would haunt Marcus forever. Found you, little vermin. Time to see what passes for courage among your pathetic species. Marcus steadied his breathing, felt his heartbeat slow, and placed his crosshairs on the center of the alien leader's largest eye. Courage? He whispered. Let me show you some courage. His finger found the trigger, the shot that would shatter an entire species' understanding of the universe was about to be fired.